The Mazda MX-5 is a very nice car with a nice driver-focused interior from the factory, but the oldest of these cars is over 30 years old now. Because of that, these cars lack some modern-day sophistication and some modern-day features. There are some mods that you could do to your interiors, though, to bring them up to modern specs, so you could both gain some functionality and a little bit of classiness and sophistication. In this video, I'm going to be going over my top 5 favorite Miata mods so you could learn about them and maybe do them to your own cars. Without further ado, let's jump right into it. The first mod that I want to talk about on this list is interior lighting. Now, from the factory, the interior lighting in these cars is pretty bad, and on earlier cars like this, almost non-existent. So if you get an earlier Miata like this, you only get 2 interior lights. You get one that's down here next to the driver and one that's over here next to the passenger. Now, these things don't provide a lot of light, as you could see right there. This is the stock bulb, and you really don't get much output, and at night when it's dark, there's really not a good way to light up the interior of these cars from the factory. I would highly recommend upgrading the bulbs in those lights, which I actually have not done on this car, but I would recommend doing that to get a little bit more light output. And then I would also recommend adding some interior lights in other places. For example, I've added lights under there that really illuminate the floor mats and the rest of the footwell area when you open the doors. And I've seen a lot of people add lights up here. They delete these sun visors and put lights there, and also add lights up in this area. Now, if you get a newer Miata, there's a good chance that they actually will have more interior lighting. They'll have a light up top there, but it's still not a lot. I would upgrade the bulbs to modern day LEDs and also add some footwell lighting like I did in mine. The next mod that I would recommend to pretty much everything is doing something with the seats in these cars. And you're probably looking at the seats in mine saying, those look like race seats, and they are. I don't want those things in my car. And the first thing I want to talk about is race seats, but then I'll talk about some options for those of you who might not want these. Now, I went ahead and upgraded to Sparco Sprint 5s in my car because I track this and do a lot of spirited driving and wanted a nice seat that was going to hold me in. It does lack a little bit of comfort though, and mods that you could do if you don't want race seats but you still want better bolstering and better comfort include doing what a lot of people refer to as a foamectomy. Now, this is removing the bottom foam in your driver's seat, or drivers or passengers, and what that does is take out a little bit of foam. It makes you sit a little bit lower in your car, and it also makes the side bolsters that hold you in feel bigger and stronger while you're driving around and doing spirited driving. So that I would recommend to pretty much anyone. After that, once again, there are options like race seats, and for those of you who really want an OEM plus sort of upgrade and you want to keep the foam and the comfort of the stock seats, you could go ahead and upgrade to something like a leather cover. This makes the interior look nicer. A lot of people like the feel of leather. Personally, I'm a big cloth guy, so I like these seats, but that is something that a lot of people really like, and I think you might enjoy in your Miata. Number 3 on this list is upgrading your Miata's radio. Now, these are very old cars, and the radios from the factory lack some basic functionality. In mine, I put this big 7-inch touchscreen in, and it's made a big difference for functionality, and I could actually Bluetooth to this, I could have an aux port, and I could have a USB to charge my phone. Now, for a lot of people, this might not be a big deal, but just adding that modern functionality to me was great and well worth it. Now, this kit was a very inexpensive radio with a radio adapter that I made custom, and if you're interested in this sort of radio adapter, I have these things linked below. Number 4 on this list is shift boots and other little details to personalize your car. Now, shift boots on these things are extremely easy to change out, and it makes a big difference because you could add nicer materials, you could add nicer colors, and it'll really make your car feel like it's your own. On my car, I went ahead and did the shift boot, and I also did matching floor mats here. As you could see, I went with the black with white stitching because I really like the pattern of that. So I did custom floor mats, a custom shift boot, and a custom center console here. Now, all of that stuff I thought looked really nice and tied the whole interior together along with the black and white seats here. And for me, it's these little details that really make an interior feel complete. Now, although, like I said, I made all of this stuff custom, right now I don't have this stuff available for sale. If you're interested in floor mats or shift boots or center console cup holder deletes, let me know down below and I might start producing them if there's enough interest. And finally, the last one on this list is upgrading your steering wheel. Now, early Miata steering wheels were not bad, but they're not a 3-spoke design, they're a 4-spoke design. They look kind of dated, and overall, in my opinion, it's just sort of a meh wheel. What I would highly recommend is upgrading your wheel to an NB steering wheel because it's a direct fit that doesn't require very much modification, and it's an easy thing to put in. This gets you a 3-spoke wheel while also retaining an airbag, which for safety is huge. If you don't want to go that way, you also could keep your NA steering wheel, and they make kits to put on basically a different grip and a different skin on the outside of the wheel to modernize it a little bit and give it a little bit more style, and a lot of people like going that way. As you could see, I went with neither of those options, and I did put in an aftermarket wheel that's a 3-spoke, sort of old school race-inspired design. Now, I like this wheel because it really fits with the rest of the car. It gives it more of a classic feel, which I like, but of course it doesn't retain the airbag, and that I don't really like. If you're going to go ahead and do this, know that removing the airbag definitely is removing one of the only safety features that these Miatas have, so be careful with that. On my car here, I did go ahead and make this custom horn button to really tie the whole interior together and incorporate my logo, and I really like that. Now, you've probably picked up on a common theme throughout this video, and that is making improvements in both functionality and personal preference. Now, for me, I love my interior. I did every mod in here because I wanted to, and for me, I thought it was a really good choice, and you should do that with yours too. Do mods that add some functionality, but also make you happy and make your car your own. And so guys, with all that, that is gonna wrap up this video. If you liked all these mods in this video, let me know down below. I wanna hear from you guys what you've done to the interiors of your Miatas. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more, and I hope you stick around for the next one. Take care.